Hello. So yeah, I haven't haven't been doing this for a while, and yeah, I hope you're great. And yeah, it's gonna be Django because that's what we left off. I think yeah. Oh, I just like feel so weird because like, it's been a long while, and sorry that I have some kind of personal problems, and I went away for a while and I come back and then I felt sick and yeah, so I've been stopped doing streaming for a few weeks, but now I'm ready to go. So the train has started moving again. So I'll start by doing Python Zero to Hero. This is like one of the most enjoyable time I think that I get to explore some of the Python things with you all, and yeah, so that would be great. And so yeah, actually I can see that like the chat is right over there. I didn't put it on my desk. I just have like see it from afar. But if you want to type something in the chat, I am basically looking at it. Maybe I would grab it if there's any like comments and chats that like is way over there. So yeah, what else? So let's I think basically what I gotta do is to recap what we have done a few weeks ago about Django, and then we could see what we gotta move forward. We did build a polling app before, and I remember that this polling app you can build a model with Django that basically talks to your backend database, which is I believe is MySQL if I remember correctly. Then yeah, so maybe we can have a look and see what we have done. So we have built this polling app, which is extremely small right now. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So yeah, so basically in a Django project, you will start a website. So you start my site. This is just the name that is used in this tutorial. And yeah, we have SQLite as our backend, so that's why you see it here. We have one application in our site, which is the polling app. So it's like polls here. You see all this stuff. So mainly you would have some of the views, which like is how everything looks like. So you see that there are index and results. So this will be now. They are responses. So some of them are just HTTP response. Some of them actually we are rendering a template, I believe, this detail. So yeah, we're rendering an HTML file instead. Oh, this is 404. Okay, so we are like rendering a 404 page, I guess. Or oh no, if like there's no page, then we raise a 404. Otherwise, it will render this page. Okay. Yeah. Or you can also render a template like this. So this is how we do, and we have the apps, of course. So this is just saying that we have the post, and URL just define where everything is. So like all the path actually means calling on this thing that we have in the views. So by doing this, you can clearly define like how your website will be like. Models would be the one that basically this is how you communicate with the back end. So you have two classes here that each of them, I keep getting this notification, that's why I try to put the computer away, otherwise like the sound would, you would hear the sound, so maybe I should mute it next time. Sorry, I'm just back with the streaming, and I'm trying some new setup. You see that I'm not using my headset. Yeah, so I would figure it out like as time goes by. So here you see that we have the questions, and there's different views. So it's in the model, so they are actually yeah, so they're actually like building these fields in the SQLite database. And choices as well, you link them by having a key field somehow. Yeah, there is a key, so you can link the questions to the choices. So yeah, that's an overview of what this is like. Also, of course, you have the templates here, which they are the HTML templates with tags. So these are like the ginger tags, like they look exactly like liquid tag. So yeah, this is how you render your pages. So last time we left off at here, yeah, I do still have the tab. This is why I have million tabs. So I have unfinished business. I'll just like keep the tab there. So this is where we left off. I think like tutorial number 3. So last time, yeah, we do have this, right? Like we either, so I think we had, yeah, we were here. So this is what you've seen before. So you can do a try, and then if it's, you know, if this page doesn't exist, then you will have a 404. Otherwise you just return it, but you can use get object of 404 instead of having the try except, which is like a standard Python way of doing things. Yeah, just make things easier and like make your code much shorter. So this is the template. I think we have done this. Yes, we have the details.html, which we use the tag. So this tag basically work like your logic in programs. So it kind of like having some for loop, if else things in your HTML file, but it's a template. It's not like real HTML. So when Django sees it, it will generate those HTML for you. Removing hard-coded. Yes, so I think this is what we've done as well. So last, like before, we tried to like use the tag to put in HTML here, but you could basically use your kind of logic to generate that rather than like hard coding that in. I think that's fine. Like both ways is okay to do it. It's just show you different ways you can do things. So namespace, I think we were here. So let's have a look at our URLs. So URLs here. So we do have the at name equals to post, and we have our index, detail, result, and vote. So yeah, so we do have this, and yeah, this is like if we change the template of index, then we could yeah, use this like post detail, just calling it directly, rather than, you know, you have to hard code it. So you can just say like it's gotta be the question ID, and just, you know, you just render it for you. So yeah, let's double check whether we have that in place. So that's the index template. So my poll template, and it's in the index. So yep, this is not what we wanted. So maybe I would just do, and can I edit it? Please. Yeah, I think the problem with it is that it's an HTML, so we just render it instead of opening it. So what I can do is, if I open a terminal, actually, I could. So this is pose. Oh, actually, what do I have here? I have my site, and then pose, and then template. Yep, and pose, and that would be index HTML. So that's not CD. That's actually I want it to be shown. Let's see if we can use nano. Right, so this is our text file. Basically, yeah, we can edit it here. Yeah, so we have done it already. So okay, that's absolutely fine. So let's exit it. Yeah, it just makes things super complicated. I'm sorry. Yes, no, you don't have to save it. Okay, fine. So yeah, or I think what you can do is like rename it without the extension, and then you can edit it and then save it again with it. Yeah, it's just Jupyter Notebook not being smart enough, but that's okay. Part 4. So let's move on. Let's move on and write a minimal form. So this time we'll have some interaction from the user, I guess. So now we have a form. So we are also changing the template, the details. So what I gotta do is that I gotta rename it to detail, and now I can edit it. Yes. So let's have a look. So now we have a much more like HTML-like kind of thing. We have a header. So that will be the question, and then we have a if statement here. So if there's an error message, you just show the error message with like a strong, which is like a bolded text. Then otherwise we build a form. which the action would be post to the post vote. I don't know whether we have this in place. Maybe we're gonna build it afterwards. So, but yeah, it's kind of like a post call. And then we have the token. So now things getting a little bit complicated, but this form, how it looks like, there'll be some like radio buttons. So it's kind of like the multiple choice options. You'll see how it looks like in a bit, and then there'll be text. So let's copy that and paste it in detail here. Right, give it a save. And then now we can rename it to .html again. Yeah. Okay. Oops, not like that. Okay, fine. We are good. So the next step. Yeah, so this explains a little bit of things much better than me. So yeah, it's kind of like the form will have a few choices. So there will be radio buttons, and then you send choice to post it, right, as the value. So there's some actions you can read this yourself, and for loop, so it's kind of like looping through all the choices here. Yeah, so you can submit, and then when you submit, value will be the vote. That is the value of the choice here. Then yeah, then that will be the value will be the ID of the choice. Actually, it will be sent as the vote here. So yeah, so URL, then we have to create this vote URL. So let me see if we can add that in. So let's go to the URLs, and oh, we do have it here. So is it the same? Let me just check. Yes, it's the same. So we have already added that in last time without knowing. Okay, so and then vote, we need to have a function in the views. Okay, so it's called a dummy implementation. I don't know why, but what I'll do is just that I gotta copy this. Oh, I also have to check whether these are all like working, but we just copy this function for now and paste it in the views. So let's go to the views, and yeah, so we have the votes. Okay, so we replace this dummy thing with our real deal here and save it. So what it does is that oh, we need to call this get object of 4. We did it last time, so we have to do that. And that would be the HTML. No, it's the shortcut. Okay, so I'll just copy this so I can import that here. Oh, we have render already, so I just need to add this in here. Right, so we are good. And so we have the, so you can see this is so much like tighter than this, which we didn't use the get object of all for. So we either get the options, the questions, or we'll just raise the for automatically. Then we'll try to see if we have we can get the choice that's supposed to be sent by the post request that we have written in the form in HTML, remember. If we didn't get it, there would be an error, so we would render the detailed HTML with the error message. Otherwise, we would increase the vote and we save it, so it will be saved in the database, and then it will redirect and then show the result. Okay, so we will go to the result page. This is coming to be much more like a real application now, and I'm surprised that is actually not difficult to do. All this stuff that works like magic when you kind of have an app, it could be easily do it with Django. Well, it's not like easy, but like Django make it so much easier than you would be expecting. Yeah, I think I would really love this when I was, I tried to build some forum forms when I was 14 years old, but like at that time there's only things available, HTML and JavaScript. But at that time I didn't know about Python. I knew nothing about Python. I don't know whether Django exists at that time. So yeah, that was like 20 years ago, by the way. I'm this old. So yeah, like I tried to build a forum form. I tried to copy, like learn from other sites. and of course at the time I don't have the knowledge to build a backend, so so it doesn't work for me. I don't understand why I didn't get the right knowledge. And now, like, if I know Django, like, I mean, now it's like so easy. Like Django, I would love if I have my 14-year-old self sitting next to me right now. I would totally teach myself Django, and I would have so much fun. And maybe I would become a web dev instead. So yeah, so we have this request post, and so yeah, this is just explaining the things here, which I have explained it a little bit. Of course, this explains a little bit better. It, you know, but yeah, from my experience of working with web, kind of, I'm not a web dev, by the way. I'm just like a person who works with web a lot in my spare time. So so you kind of understand how it is working, but you can totally read it yourself. We're using the reverse function in the direct. So yeah, so this is the reverse here, right? So yeah, so what's special about this reverse? Avoid having a hard code URL. Okay, so it kind of go back there, passing the control back. So it's kind of like a way that you can go both ways. That you could also pass the variables. So yeah, so I think that's the advantage of not using hard-coded URLs. Yeah, so it would display the question ID in the result. Yeah, so it's kind of all working fine. The vote will redirect to the result page. Yeah, so we have to write the view for like getting the result, I guess. So for result, we have to do this. Yeah, so this time is using this get object of all4. We can update it a little bit, so it's kind of a little bit nicer for us. So oh yeah, we have to replace this. So yeah, so this time we also have get object of all4, and this time, so compared to what we had, so instead of just a HTML response, we would go for a result.html. So we need to have another template. So yeah, so we have the result template here. So what I will do is I will make a copy, go to the templates, create a new file. So I'll paste all of it here, and it is called result.html. So there's nothing in the chat yet. That's okay. So we have it all ready. So yeah, so this is just a template that it will render the URL, you know, kind of yeah, dynamically, like we always do. And we also have all these variables that is available. So yeah, we can vote the question, but we have to start it first because I restart my computer, so it's not started yet. So what we gotta do is that, I think I forgot the command to start it. Oh my god. And okay, so and the camera looks really weird because it's getting dark outside. So what I gotta do is I gotta switch on my light. It may be too bright, but that's okay. It's better than nothing, right? Yeah. Right. So yeah, I forgot the command to run the app. So let's go back to tutorial 1. So yeah, so just to refresh my memory, I need that. So let's go to tutorial 1. How can we run the project? Run server, is it? Manage the Pi. No, this is the server, right? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so we can run the server. So we have to go to Python manage.py. So here, so let's go to my site, and we have the manage.py here. So yeah, we can just run it, and then it should run in the 8000. Oops. Oh yeah, we have to go to the pose, right? Oh. And then go to question 1 and vote for it. Yes, now we have a form. We have the thing. Oh, actually my logo is covering it. Oh no. I'll make it super big so you can see. So yeah, now we have this form that we can vote on it, and So what's up, this guy? I like being so random. Vote. And there is an error. There's something wrong with it. What's going on? Let's see. What? Check, system check. You have unapply migrations. Oh, did we forget to migrate? And then, oh no, like, no, this is not the tutorial, sorry. Right. So let's go back here, see what's wrong. So we have tried to do this, and then it, let's code this better. No, we see a result page that is update. No, I get an error instead. So what's wrong? Let's debug it. Is not defined. So respawn redirect. Maybe I haven't imported for some reason. Where does it got in the picture? Respawn redirect here. So maybe I forgot to put that in. So that should be in the views. Yep, I forgot to import it. That's why got a nasty error. So let's go back and do that again. No, maybe I need to restart it, and then run this again. Right. Okay, so this time got a vote again. It still give me an error message. A reverse is not defined. Oh, I keep forgetting to import things. URLs import. Okay. Yeah. Right. I need that. Yeah, I think it won't be a problem when you get familiar with Django and how things work. I'm just not familiar with it, but it will come. Okay. Okay. So let's try that again. I don't know whether I need to restart, but let's see. No. Short exchange pose. Oop, my template is not there. Results. There's I spelled wrong. Sorry. Results. Okay. Right. Hope now it's fine. Let's try again. Oop, not you. It's you. And then I just need to refresh it a little bit. Vote. Please. Okay, now it's rendering the page, but there's nothing there, which is also peculiar. Oh, it may be the problem of like Jupyter Notebook is not really refreshing. Yeah, it's not really saving the result, is it? Because yeah, file save. Yeah, okay. So now it should refresh it. It should work. Yep, so now it's like Sky got 5 votes because I've been doing it. And if we vote again, not much, then not much got 1 vote. So it all works. Yay! I'm excited. Genuinely, like, I'm not faking it. I'm really excited it works. Okay. So yeah, that's good thing about Django. Like, when things work, you'll be like, yay! Yeah, it's exciting working with WAP because it's all this interactiveness. It's like really like you feel like something is really working, just make you so excited, rather than if you're working with command line, it's just a bunch of code that, well, there's no error. Okay, it's a good thing, you know, it's not as excited as seeing things that is actually working. So yeah, we have done this, so now we can vote on it, but we still have some improvement that we can do, I guess. And tutorial 3, so what is saying that is, so this part we've done, right? Oh, I got short memory. Yeah, we're here. So avoid racing conditions, and so yeah, that's something that you could learn from it. 42 and 43 both using. Okay, select the choice from database. Yeah, so it's like if 2 users are doing it at the same time, so there may be the problem. So Yeah, so there's some like advanced things that you can read. So it's when you have like things more sophisticated, like not like this that I'm running just solely on my computer. If you have multiple users, then there will be problems. So you can solve that by some tips there's here. I don't know how to solve it, but you can read it. I think if we have time, we may go to it, but not now because I just want to get through this tutorial. And of course, Django is something that, you know, is really big. We ain't gonna learn it in, you know, 1 or 2 or even 3 tutorials, but yeah, I'm doing this just as a starter, just like, you know, for people who are interested like me, that we can start learning Django. Then maybe after that, I'm thinking maybe we can think of some fun projects to work together and learn more Django, but that would be more in the future. Or maybe I need to have a separate series for that. I'm keep thinking because I don't want to overload myself just like I did before, so I have to really plan it through. But nevertheless, let's just move on. Generic view. So yeah, again, less is better. Less is better than more. So simple is better than complicated. Sign of Python. So yeah, so the details and result are very short, and yeah, so this is just some tips of how you can make things much better with less code. Um, so yeah, there's some generic views that you could use, and then you don't have to create the views like every single time. So I think this is kind of like how to improve it. So we just learn by doing it. Post URLs, and then we would update the path here, I guess. Oh, so let's see what's the difference of the change. So just copy it and paste it side by side of what we have, then we can compare what has been changed. So the URLs here, and I'll just paste it down here and have a look where the comments are gone. And you can see that instead of question ID, we just so the index, we have like index view as view. So this is something that we have changed, and yeah, the import are the same, and then we have question ID and the result, and the views, they are all kind of linked together with this primary key here. And so yeah, this is the improvement to make it simpler and easier to work with. So we would go with the much better version and save. Okay, so yeah, so we have like, we kind of want to use a generic view, so that's why we combine them. So now we have to change the views. So yeah, so these are all new. So except votes, we gotta keep the same. We gotta change index view. We have to have generic, which to avoid forgetting to import things, I just gotta do this first. So I have to have a generic view, and I gotta just use all these new classes instead of the index, detail, and result. So index, detail, and result is going to be changed. So what I gotta do is I just gotta comment them out just in case we want to roll back. But you can see this is like much shorter just by looking at it. And you see that well, we have a template name. Okay, it's the same kind of, template is like load get template. But we are, yeah, so what we gotta do is like we are inheriting this generic list view class from, so we don't have to write it from scratch. So what we did before is that we write the index field from scratch, but now we just gotta call in some pre-written generic view that is provided, and we gotta extend it. So we just gotta inherit this class from here, and then there's some settings that you could template name, of course this needs to be customized, so that's why we do it here. And then we have the object name here, and then inside we have the get query set. So this is like how we get the questions. So it's the same thing here, but yeah, so it's kind of like using this list view. I think it may looks a little bit better, or it's just make it like neater, that you don't always start from scratch. Maybe you have million things that are like list viewed, that, you know, for example, it's quite common, right, to think about it. You have like a list of the posts that you have written, you have a list of threads that people write in a forum. So yeah, so that's why it's always good to reuse stuff, right? That's why we love Python and like calling in library, because we love reusing code instead of writing things from scratch all the time. And detail view is kind of more like, you know, you have a page that, you know, it's kind of like your blog post, so it will be the details. So you have all of these. Yeah, so yeah, I kind of don't like the naming here because they're all called detail, but you know, well, this is what it is. And yeah, so yeah, and then also we have this primary link, PK here, that we use instead of the question ID. I think it's just how they're called in these generic views. Yeah, so that's part 4. Yay! So let's see if we can do part 5. I don't know how many paths in this tutorial we have, but just like what we did, we just like try to continue. Let me see, what do we have for part 6. Just quickly have a quick look. Sorry about all this scrolling and stuff, but I just want to have a quick look here. We do have part 6. Okay, so let's see how far we can go with part 5. So automated test. Oh, so now it's talking about test. Oh, it's something so different now. Okay, so yeah, so how can we test it? Why you need to create tests? Well, I think I won't talk about why we need to write tests. I think if you have been following my tutorials, or even if you have been to my talks, you know I'm the person who always like, please write tests. I can't stress enough why we need to write tests. I've just give a talk in PyCon Sweden, and I talk about testing, and yeah, I don't want to repeat myself, so yeah. And yeah, we need to write tests. So how can we do that with Django? So yeah, you can read all these. I think I agree with all of them. Basic testing strategy is so it's talking about TDD. Okay. So identifying a bug. So so is okay. So the author of this tutorial already hidden a bug there, which I think is ingenious, because like I have no idea there's a bug. I just copy all the code. So yeah, it's good to write tests. Yeah, the question was published recently. Method return true if the question was published within the last day. But if the date is in the future, well, then it shouldn't be showing, right? So so we can go to the shell to check the method on a question that lies in the future. Yeah, so basically this is so yeah, it's just adding a question that is so it's like 30 days later. That is definitely wrong. So yeah, so how to expose the bug? So we have to write a test.py in your application. So let's copy this and created it, and then we can have a look. So let's go back to our post, and then this time we need to create a new tests.py, right? It's already exists. Okay, sorry, I overlooked it. Just leave it. And oh yeah, it's here. Okay, so it's already created here for us. We just need to put that in here. Okay, so yeah, we already have that, so we can just delete this one. Right, and yeah, so this test So yeah, it's just like create a like test template for you. So Django really encourage you to write test. Yeah, so then you see that we have a class, this like question model test. So this is very similar to PyTest. Like if you have read unit tests before, you kind of you're familiar with it. And so test was published recently. So yeah, it's just like however you want to name it. You can also write a doc strings. Of course you have to put self in it, otherwise it will give you a syntax error. So the time is now plus 30 days later, and it's a future question, so just write a question with the published date using this time here, so it's 30 days later. And then we assert it. Whether was published recently will give me a false because the future post shouldn't be published recently. So it's straightforward, and let's run the test. So yeah, we will run manage the PyTest post. So this is how we do it in the command line interface. So let's stop this for now. Oh. Yeah, stop this. Okay, so let's try this. And yeah, it told me that it failed, which is kind of expected. Oh, a time zone is not defined. Did I not import it? Let's see, time zone, Django.util time zones. I've imported it, and why is complaining? That's weird. Maybe it's something that is not updated. Yeah, this is like we shouldn't have an error. We should actually have a assert fail here. So I don't know why it said that time zone is not defined. Test database for aliases default. Yeah, so it's using a default database, which is completely fine. So yeah, time zone now. So it's not importing the time zone correctly. We do have that in the views, right? So how do we did it? How did we do it last time? No, not here. The app, no. Where did we put it? Maybe in utils. Sorry, I have to have a look and debug this. This is a bit weird, and we shouldn't. This delete. Maybe models. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, just weird that saying time zone doesn't exist, because it does. And what you choose? What time zone? Time zone now. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not importing. Maybe namespace is not correct. Import daytime. Daytime. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is just import this. So yeah. So just import Django.util. So see if we can find it. Just need to add this here. See if it can find it. Okay. So run that again. And it still says it's not defined, which is super weird. Yeah. Why it is the case? Oh, I think I've saved it. Oh, maybe like I'm not running the thing for some reason. Like, why is it why isn't it reflecting the change? Am I editing the right file? File save? No. Now I'm puzzled. So this is the test.py here. Yeah, it's this one. Am I running the right one? So it's in the post. Yeah, it's running the right test. but this hasn't been changed. So yeah, because I've returned. Oh, okay. So in was, yeah, so this, oh, so it's in the model. Okay, right. No, so it's not that, so it's in the model here, that. Okay, so it's here. Yeah, I haven't import. Okay, I know the problem here, so this is not the problem. So it's in the model that I forgot to import something, like I always do. So I have to import the time zone in the model. So let's save it and put it here. Right. Okay, so this time it should work. This time it should work. And daytime is not defined. Okay, there's lots of things that are missing there. So let's put that in here. I don't know why it's not like, well, it was working because I have never called this function, so maybe that's why. Yeah, now there's a failure instead of an error. So yeah, true is not false. So it's just asserting the logic that we were expecting, but it doesn't work. So yeah, so not happy about that. And so what should we do? Well, but at least the test exposed the error, which is what we want, right? That's the reason why we're writing test. So yeah, so we get this, we got a failure because the assertion is not correct. So so what should we do? And we should fix the bug, of course. So now what we need to do is that not just return now minus, of course, but we also have to check whether this is less than a so yeah, whether this pub date is like less than now. So this is like, you know, in the past. So let's update that in the models, and instead of just this, you know, whether the pub date is, you know, after now we have all these things, or we have to have now, is it? So yeah, let's just copy the whole thing and replace it. So now we have a better logic. Okay, so we check whether this is before or now, which is, you know, not in the future. So if we run the test again, so this time indentation error, which I'm not expecting. Oh yeah, copy and paste problems here. So yep, now it's okay, so it passed. So yeah, it's doing well, it's doing well. So yes, okay. So you can also write more comprehensive test. Yeah, we also have to like write more tests because, well, if you fix one bug, it could actually create another bug. So so this is just like having more tests to lock things down in place. Again, I won't explain like the, you know, like why it's important to write more tests to cover everything, but this is good for a lot of reasons. So yeah, let's go to test and then add all these and make sure the indentation is correct. It's not correct here. Oh, and I didn't copy it. Copy it, and yeah, so this is supposed to be indented. This also need to be indented. Okay. Yeah, so like we also write two more tests that is checking whether published recently with old questions. So this is just like a good old logic checking like whether it's recent. And this is like the other way, so it's like the so it's like two sides of the coin. This is like, don't show any questions that is like, you know, very old, which is not recently. This is showing that like if it's within that time frame that is like from yesterday to now, then please show it. So we're checking all this. So now we have free tests that hopefully cover all cases. Now we can run the test again, and hopefully it should all passed. Yay! So 3 tests passed. They're all A-OK, so which is good. We can also test the view. So we were testing the model there, but we can also test the view here by test for the first and then code to fix this. Yeah, so this is like more or less like TDD. So for this photo, so yeah, so there's a test client that is in Django. So this is like showing you how to use it. So you can set up test environment here. If you go to the shell, you can do this. Yeah, I think I won't go into the detail here. It's just show that you could yeah, you could do it in shell to test your app using the client. Yeah, so I won't go through all of these because like you can do it yourself. And improving the view. So well, there's another improvement on the view. Some publish yet, and yeah, we have the list view. So yeah, so we gotta add the time zone now. So yeah, this is the same thing, right? We want to compare yeah, whether it's published now or before or in the future for some reason. So we have to update this one. And time zone, so we have to import it. Don't forget to import the time zone, otherwise the same problem will happen. So we're just putting it in here, and then so yeah, instead of what we had just ordered by, we would now have yeah, the filter, which is like we filter it with the time zone now. So we just update this one here, which is this one. So we will update it and also fix the indentation because it's not working well. Yeah, so it's now like it's not just ordered by, but we also like apply a filter to see if like it's published like now, like because we don't want future things to pop up. Yeah, this is like less than or equal to, so it needs to be in the past. So we can test the view by so we go back to the test file, and then we use create the questions. So yeah, we just use this one from Django. So we go to the test, and we have to import this one as well. Yeah, it's like it's a bit messy, all this import. Sorry about that. So we have these create questions, and then yeah, we just add a bunch of tests in. So this is basically what we're doing. Yeah, wow, that's quite a lot. So yeah, I'll just like go and put it here. There's lots of tests that we have. Yeah, so we have a functions that is called create questions. So this is kind of like a helper function for us to create a question. Then we have a bunch of tests that's under the question index view test. Testing no question, testing their past questions, testing their future questions, testing their future questions and past questions, which the only part, like it should only show the past question, right? And also there's 2 past questions. They both need to be shown in a right order from recent to past. So yeah, so they're all like here now. Yeah, so this explains everything. And then this is testing the detail views. So it's kind of similar thing that we want to do. So just quickly updated everything. It's just for when we do our when we move on to the other part of the tutorial, we have the most updated tutorial ready. Yeah, so we are also adding the filter for the for the date. And then of course adding a bunch of tests to lock that in place. Just copy it and then adding them here. Yeah, so this space is really messing things up here, is it? Yeah. Okay, now it's happy. And yeah, so this is also like future question, past questions. They should only show the past questions. Yeah, so yeah, so there are more tests that you should write. You can write it if you want to. I will just give it a pass because I want to end the tutorial by finishing this part. Yeah, more is better if you write test. Of course, we want to lock every single like test in place, and there are more testing that you could do. Selenium is used for a browser that like so it's kind of like an integration test that you could run your test in the browser. It will create a kind of like a simulation of a browser that you can run your test. Yeah, so it's the HTML actually renders. So yeah, you could create. So it's just like testing it by running this thing. So instead of doing it manually, you can use Selenium to run the browser and see if it really works. Yeah, so it's like also continuous integration. So again, like this is a huge topic of how to test your thing. So I would leave that to you if you're following the tutorial together with me. So there's no chat as far as I can see. So yeah, so that's it for today. Yeah, I know it's a slow start, but things are starting to get back in place. I'm starting to get back in my schedule, like in the things that I want to do, and yeah, I think I took a very good break and now I'm ready to go again. Also, it's like closing to the end of the year, so everybody's looking forward to the holiday season that then I can also take a break from all these conferences and stuff. But before that, we still have Pyjamas Conf, which the ticket is now available. So let me do a quick shameless plug. So so if you go to pyjamas.live, which is our official conference website, then actually we have already get all the talks, proposals selected. Schedule will be publishing next week, and you can now register the ticket, which but this is just a suggest price. You can put a 0 here if you want to register for free. That's completely okay. Yeah, so you can like put 0 here and put 1 here and then continue. Then you would already get a ticket, so you don't have to yeah, okay, I'll cancel it for now. I'll get it later. I don't want to get a lot of dummy tickets, but yeah, you could just change it to 0 if you don't want to pay. But I would highly recommend, if you can afford, you donate, because all these profits that we are making will be going to support the Python community. We are not making any profit. We are all volunteers that are working really hard to make it happen. Yeah, so let me go back to Pyjamas Live. Yeah, and now the expenditure, we are relying on our very nice sponsor, Microsoft. So yeah, like I said, all the donation will be 100%. We are quite confident that all the tickets sell, that we could donate it to the Python community. So yeah, so please support us, and yeah, and get your onesies ready. And yeah, so that's it for me for this week. I will see you. So the coming Thursday usually is the new World of Warcraft, but because we have a podcast, we have a Terminators on Tech back the coming Thursday, so we will be doing that instead. So I will see you probably, well, you can join our podcast. Actually, we would announce all the details on Monday, which is tomorrow. And then the week after, World of Warcraft will continue, will be resumed. But if you're looking for watching me on this channel, I will see you next Sunday. And before that, have a nice week, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.